Hello and welcome to Slashdot Media's SourceForge Podcast, and thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Sydney Shepard, here at SourceForge and Slashdot Media, and as always, the SourceForge Podcast is where we discuss software and technology with leaders and changemakers in tech. And joining us today, we have Carrie Jordan, the Group Vice President of Project Management at Epicor. Epicor is a leading provider of software solutions for businesses in the make, move, and sell economy globally for over 50 years. Thanks for joining us today, Carrie. We're very excited to have you on.
Thank you, Sydney. I'm really looking forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Of course. So honestly, let's just jump right in. Could you provide myself and our listeners, of course, some information, just give like a high-level overview of Epicor and the different solutions that you guys provide?
Absolutely. So from where I stand, leading our product management organization, I have the great honor of working very closely with customers across the make, move, sell economy. And that's really where we focus as an organization. So Epicor is a business software company. We specialize in the essential industries, as we say, the makers, movers, and sellers. And we are on a mission to partner with the world's hardest working businesses and helping them be as successful as possible. So those industries that we specialize in are manufacturing, distribution, building supply, retail, and the automotive aftermarket. And as you mentioned, Epicor was founded 50 years ago. At this point, we're over $1 billion in annual recurring revenue. We are global. We're based in Austin, Texas. We have over 5,000 employees worldwide. And we have over 23,000 customers. And they really range from large enterprises to smaller, medium-sized companies. To give you some examples of our customers, Ace Hardware, JR Automation, other names you might recognize, Ergo Baby, Marmon Water, Audiotonics, the F1 team, Visa Cash App RB, American Refrigeration Supplies. So just to kind of give you a few examples of those companies across the make, move, sell economy. And as far as the software solutions that we provide, these are really industry specific and they serve the whole business because we believe to be a true partner, we really need to be there for the entire business. So our portfolio includes cloud-based ERP, which is Enterprise Resource Planning, supply chain management or SCM, customer relationship management or CRM, workforce applications, business intelligence tools, e-commerce, configure price quote or CPQ, point of sale solutions, last mile delivery, content management, automation technologies, and the list goes on and on. But, as a business partner, customers often want to know where we are going. So what is our strategy from a technology perspective? And I do just want to share that, Epicor is really out in front of infusing machine learning AI and generative AI into our applications as the leader in cognitive ERP. Now that's ERP that's easy to use. Cognitive ERP is ultra modern, yet true to that deep functionality that these industries require. And the AI that we're building onto our data models is really special because those data models have been built and refined for decades in partnership with our industry leaders, those customers that we work with. And cognitive ERP applications anticipate and serve up recommended insights or workflows for users that help them make informed decisions and take fast action. So really, we can see our customers get back to the job at hand to do what they need to do, in their business and to serve their customers. So that's a little bit about who Epicor is, our portfolio, and from a strategy perspective, where our applications are going.
That's amazing. That was a very great answer with a lot of detail. I love it. So then at its core, how would you say Epicor Kinetic's technology helps streamline manufacturing operations for organizations, and what really sets apart your platform from others?
Yeah, so Kinetic is our ERP platform for manufacturers. And these kinds of hardworking businesses are hyper focused on getting mission critical work done. And honestly, they have to be in order to stay competitive, to operate with the speed that's required for their business and that their customers are expecting, and to do so ultra efficiently. So they need to attract new generations of qualified talent. They need modern software that looks and feels sleek and intuitive. Their products and services must be high quality. They have to be delivered as expected. And these companies are under high cybersecurity pressure, right? So there's a number of challenges that manufacturers need to solve for. And these are exactly the kinds of challenges that with the Epicor Kinetic technology, they can take and tackle sort of head on. So they do this really in three primary ways. The Kinetic technology, we really focus on our made with you, for you promise, the deep industry expertise within the manufacturing industry, and scale. And to give you a little bit more information on each of those, when it comes to made with you, for you, this embodies our customer focus. And as a product manager, this is something we live and breathe every day, to work with our customers, right? To understand their challenges, and to work with them to co-innovate and co-develop solutions to those. And, Epicor has a number of ways in which we get customers involved: customer advisory boards, product advisory boards. We have an ideas portal to crowdsource and vote on ideas, and that feeds directly into our roadmaps and our development team. So we're working together to create real and pragmatic value. And of course, it's really closely tied to that deep industry expertise. We know we have to be highly specific to best serve our customers. And that's why we're really focused on building that purpose-built technology so we can work with them to go deep into their business to solve those challenges. And then, of course, when it comes to scale, we're helping our customers grow. Our solutions are designed to do that. They can be implemented in phases, used in phases. And in fact, I'll kind of share with you, Epicor has really grown alongside our customers over the years. We really started out working with our smaller to medium-sized businesses, and just to the sheer growth of the manufacturing industry, the consolidation that we've seen across, with private equity and, different organizations coming together, the highly acquisitive nature of manufacturing, and distribution and retail and building supply and automotive. But Epicor is now an enterprise SaaS leader. We've actually been growing pretty rapidly in this space. Over 70% of new customers are choosing our cloud offerings for their core ERP. And then other applications like, those ones that could be added on to the core ERP sort of as modules or applications like configure, price, quote, CPQ, or business intelligence. They're 100% SaaS. So, needless to say, we've seen tremendous growth in our cloud platform. And we have the scale to continue to grow with our customers as they are growing.
That's awesome. I mean, all three of those points are great, especially, I love how you said the with you, for you, because growing with your customers and learning from them and how you can do things that are really going to benefit them the most is obviously like just the best way to go about it. So that's great. I love that. So would you say that there are like any particular manufacturing industries or processes that tend to get the most value from Kinetic's offerings specifically?
Yeah, well, when it comes to manufacturing, it's, when you speak with our customers, it is not enough to just say manufacturing, right? You have to go deep, right, within the industry expertise. So when it comes to those, sort of sub-verticals or sub-industries, those within the manufacturing space that we see the most, I'll go ahead and list a few here. So fabricated metals, certainly, industrial machinery, electronics and high tech, rubber and plastics, aerospace and defense, that have specific compliance requirements, especially within the United States with ITAR, International Traffic and Regulations, Traffic and Arms Regulations, medical device manufacturing, construction, engineering, furniture, and automotive. So those are sort of like the top sub verticals that we see. And then primarily it's discrete manufacturing. So those that are focused on make to order, engineer to order, basically anything that's custom. And, really Kinetic is a job centric ERP. Specific special functionality, for example, is called part on the fly. And this is sort of some secret sauce, right? It gives manufacturers the ability to quote, sell, build, and ship parts, even when the part doesn't exist and may never exist in inventory. So, to kind of spell that out, because this is a really special, unique functionality we're excited about, and our customers are always excited about it. So to give you a real world example, I'll give you a use case where you might need part on
Okay.
the fly. So, manufacturing jobs, of course, have long sales cycles, right? And circumstances could change, environments are uncertain. So, the part on the fly capability allows you to really flex to any situation over time. So, say you're a hydraulic power units manufacturer. You bid on a project, maybe a month later, you win the bid, you get the supplier pricing, but you're holding off on purchasing to avoid inventory costs. So, following the story, 6 months later, say the client is ready, material pricing has potentially changed, right, due to inflation or some other external factor. Maybe material requirements have changed due to the job because the client has something specific that they need to change. So, the part on the fly enables manufacturers to really quickly make changes within a job's record and then push that job directly to the shop floor. So you build with what's in inventory. You can procure additional one-off parts as needed. You can track changes in cost, and then you can bring them into the job work in progress or WIP, and you can actually ship the finished product from WIP. So you never added a new material to the bill of material or to the part master, so costs stay low. Your operations are smooth, they're well informed, they're trackable and efficient. And this is really the kind of agility that we're enabling for our manufacturing customers, with manufacturing, again, going really deep with specific
Yeah.
functionality such as parts on the fly.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for giving that example too specifically. It makes it, easy to understand with hearing the example given. And I mean, being able to adapt quickly and change things on the fly is obviously super important these days. I think just in general and any sort of situation, industry, whatever you're in, but especially for this when things are time consuming and I'm sure costs can get high. So that's great that that's, available for people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you told us about, some of the value that Kinetic provides companies. So diving even a little more specific, like for manufacturers that are evaluating a cloud ERP platform, what would be like the key factors that you would advise someone to prioritize in order to find the right fit for them?
Yeah, of course. And I'm often having these kinds of conversations with business leaders. And I always have to say, industry functionality remains the most important,
Yeah.
right? Because there's the technology back end, so many things to consider, but you always want to ensure that that solution that you're purchasing has the functionality that you need. So when you're going through your decision process, the sales cycle, push for demos.
Mhm.
Make sure you do see that functionality and that it is what you need for your business. Tie it to your goals and the business outcome that you are looking to achieve with this investment. So certainly industry functionality. The next thing I would say is a partner you can trust. Make sure that you are choosing an organization that is open about their roadmap, that is open to feedback from customers, and that you can have a conversation with their executive team. I mean, too often companies are pretty locked down on those kinds of things, and it's hard to establish trust when
Yeah.
you don't have that kind of access or conversation with organizations like that. So that's definitely important. And then the other piece is the third piece after, industry functionality and a partner you can trust is that cloud platform, right? Because if you're
Mhm.
evaluating a cloud ERP, that's really important because you're now entrusting that vendor to manage really important aspects of your business that you would otherwise control yourself if you were going to have that running locally or potentially even in a private cloud kind of environment. So what I would say in order to evaluate the Cloud ERP platform is focus on stability, scalability, and security. Those are the three key things that we really focus on at Epicor. Stability is, what is the SLA, the service uptime, essentially, the disaster recovery strategy, data backups. Are there redundant internet connections? Could the company help you with something like that? When it comes to scalability, this is your data sovereignty. You want to make sure that there are locations in the different regions where you'll want to grow. That could be geographically, but it could also be, through acquisition if you're going to be making
Mhm.
acquisitions or expanding your business. And then you want to ensure that there's a modern architecture in place for cost efficiencies and that elasticity for users as you're adding more over time. And then when it comes to security, the kinds of things to evaluate would be, does the vendor perform penetration tests on their software, all the major releases? Are they adhering to standards such as SOC 1 and SOC 2? What are the industry compliance requirements that you have, and does that vendor have that? Is there multi-factor authentication to protect login credentials on the applications? Do they have insurance? And could you review a security protocol? For example, you could go to epicor.com/compliance, and that's where you could read ours. And then you'll also want to see if you need help with things like antivirus, firewalls. Do they have add-on solutions for anything that could help you with things that remain on premises, like your laptops and desktops, if you have any servers for other solutions that you need. So definitely should be a well-rounded evaluation for functionality, a partner you can trust, and then that stability, scalability, and security of the cloud platform.
That's great. I love the 3 S's. Makes it nice and easy to keep track of. Those are all great points. So, all right, switching a little bit, and this question is a little bit of a mouthful, so just bear with me. But
I'm ready.
As manufacturers embrace concepts such as smart factories, lights out manufacturing, how does Epicor see the role of Cloud ERP evolving to support greater plant automation and productivity gains?
Yeah, so this is a great question, and I also, in addition to my role as leader of our product management organization, I host the Epicor sponsored podcast, Manufacturing the Future. And I have to share with you, and you're probably having these kinds of conversations too. Almost all of the manufacturing leaders that I speak with are talking about automation initiatives. It's pervasive. There are so many opportunities that automation can create that I think a lot of businesses are embracing that and moving towards it. So when it comes to, what is the role of Cloud ERP in this, I think that it's pretty dynamic, and there are a lot of different aspects to it. So first of all, Cloud ERP helps you to enable those connections that are required to support automation across your factory or your business, because you need to know what those different systems are and automate workflows across that system. So that's a really important aspect. And when you have those connections in place, having cloud-based systems to really scale and to be able to process with such capacity that's required in order to enable that flow of data is really critical. And it's very difficult to manage those types of systems when it's not a modern cloud-based ERP, because older systems can't scale. Perhaps they have faulty connections or insecure connections that could potentially introduce risk. And when you have this kind of automation in place, imagine what's possible when you enable things like generative AI, and that's going to unlock such value, right? So if you're an organization who's not considering this, it's certainly competitors are. So it's definitely worthwhile to investigate what your organization could potentially achieve through generative AI and automation initiatives across the organization. There's so many productivity gains that would really create a strong case, I believe, but you should also consider workplace safety by automating, potentially dangerous or repetitive activities. And by doing so, you're creating an environment where people want to work. And as a matter of fact, on this line, Epicor recently interviewed over 600 manufacturing workers for our 2024 Voice of Essential Worker report. We actually found that more than half said that they'd take a slight pay cut to work in a more sustainable and technology-driven factory, which is pretty surprising, right? Yeah. I mean, more than half said they'd take a pay cut to work in a factory that's more sustainable or technology driven. So just pretty amazing there. And kind of along those lines as well, 72% said that they anticipate new waves of automation at their organization, and they're asking for skills training on how to use it, how to be a part of that transformation and change, which is an overwhelming majority. So it's pretty exciting to see organizations uptake automation initiatives. And in order to do so, really it is important that you have that strong technology back end, such as a modern cloud-based ERP, one that is driven by open APIs so that you can enable that connectivity and have those the security measures in place and those connections in order to orchestrate those workflows across the business.
Yeah. Wow. Those stats that you gave, I mean, like, if that doesn't speak for itself for a reason to look for a solution like this, then I don't know what does, because
Right?
that's some crazy stats. Yeah. But totally
Yes.
makes sense. So I guess shifting a little from like the technological capabilities to a user experience in the manufacturing ERP world, getting that user experience down, nailing that is super important. Just in as it is in general for any sort of thing that people are using, very important. So what are guiding design principles that shape Epicor Kinetic's UI and UX?
Absolutely right. I mean, and so we understand that ERP technology needs to be intuitive. It needs to
Yeah.
behave the way you would expect any other technology, right, that you use to behave. So among our technology teams, we are very mission driven. We have a culture of innovation, and many of our employees have spent time at consumer based types of applications, and so have that experience and bring that to Epicor in terms of what are the ways in which a user experience should behave because of the way
Yeah.
we all just expect to work with technology. So that, I think, is a great asset for us, and we're very excited to have those team members. We're learning from all of them, myself included. We really take pride in building elegant technology for the industry. And when it comes to what are those important areas that we're focusing on, it's really creating a global user experience across platforms. So you can be in our core ERP, and you could be then leveraging a configure price quote module. You could be leveraging our Grow Business Intelligence or Elite Extra, which is our last mile delivery management solution. But these experiences should be seamless, of course. So creating that global user experience across platforms is really critical so that it feels like one Epicor solution and is easy for users to get their job done because they're able to just access the tools that they need to access when they need them. Another aspect is low code, no code. And it's really fascinating, especially with the advent of, generative AI. One of the things that's so beautiful about it is we can now interact with technology the way we as humans want to interact with technology.
Yeah.
Like the systems required us to code and know specific syntax and click here and click there. But, generative AI, that whole it's all shifting, it's all changing, and it's a really fundamental shift in the way we access technology, and we're building this into our user experience so that it's as human centric, people centric as possible. And then the third piece I'll mention is mobile for working anywhere. Hybrid environments are absolutely the norm, especially for those organizations that are global. Even if you're like within an office, of course, you're likely traveling. And you want to make sure that even as you're growing and adding additional offices, that you could be mobile. So that's another really important aspect. So any device that you're connecting in, just as you would expect with consumer applications, that's something that we follow as a design principle for our user experience.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, like, so many people are remote and traveling all the time. So nothing is more frustrating than not being able to access the things that you need to when you are in a different location. And then also along with the AI stuff too, and like low code, no code, same thing. When trying to use something and it not being easy is obviously just so frustrating. So making it like as human easy as possible, or whatever phrasing you said, that was totally makes sense. That's great. And talking about, user experience and connection, let's also talk a little bit about how Kinetic interacts with other systems as well. So system integration is obviously super important for businesses. So could you just tell us how Epicor Kinetic approaches connecting with other tools and platforms?
Absolutely. Yeah. This is really important because I like to say it's being a good cloud citizen. We have to recognize, just as every vendor has to recognize, that we're likely not the only one. And so making
Mm-hmm.
sure that we can connect to other applications is really important. We want to create an environment of optionality so that our customers can choose to use the system that is best for their organization. And if they have a solution within their organization, and this can also happen, kind of not intentionally over time, just, as you are making acquisitions or bringing in, other companies and things like you're consolidating, you might have multiple applications across the business. And so if you want to take advantage of AI, automation technologies, business intelligence, you do need to make sure that those systems can connect and talk to each other. It also helps to reduce, manual data entry and creates accuracy in the system. So many reasons why you would want
Yeah.
system integration. So the way in which Epicor enables this is we have a really strong partnership with Workato. Workato is an integration platform as a service, and we have built on top of their technology our automation studio. It's for automating workflows from one system to another. It's event-based, it's low code, no code, and they've incorporated AI as well within the Workato system that we can take advantage of as an Epicor partner. It creates template-based recipes. You can even drag and drop to create workflows. So it's very easy for business users, power users, admins to leverage to create workflows. And for example, the way you would set it up is when something happens in one system, it would kick off that workflow that something happens in another system, right? Just to be like really straightforward about it. And so that partnership with Workato allows us to directly embed their integration platform as a service technology within our Kinetic solution. And then our customers can actually build connections with recipes to over 5,000 applications. So it's a very powerful tool and easy
Wow.
to create those system integrations.
That's awesome. That's 5,000. That's a lot. That's great.
Yeah.
Makes, automation obviously makes things so much easier, especially when you're trying to connect that many different things, projects, tasks all at once in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And connectivity is crucial, especially for companies with multiple sites, which you touched a little bit on earlier. So on that note, more manufacturers have distributed operations and supply chains now. And how does Epicor Kinetic help them keep operations running smoothly across all of those multiple locations?
Yeah, you bet. Really, this is where Kinetic shines, and Epicor as a company.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we're built for a multi-company, multi-region, multi-currency environment. So for global businesses, we are international. One of the ways in which we really shine here is we have a concurrent user-based model. So that means that users share a license. So depending on your business and the way that you're structured, you may be able to buy fewer licenses than you have users. So for example, if you have operations in Asia and in the US, users who consume a license to Kinetic in Asia may be done with it. By the time your users are in, maybe in the Midwest are coming in for the day. So that's just a unique advantage for Epicor, for leveraging Epicor that not everybody might be aware of. So I did just kind of want to mention that in terms of, our ability to support multi-regions, multi-companies. But in terms of supply chain management, in addition, visibility is absolutely critical, but of course, so is taking action. So it's not enough just to consolidate that information, but also to take action based on it. So quick highlights: we offer demand planning, inventory optimization, supplier scorecards. Say, for example, you need to switch suppliers for one reason or another. A product is going to be late, or a material is going to be late, and you need to switch suppliers. Maybe one goes out of business, or you need to maybe have a sustainability initiative across your organization, and you want to choose from a more sustainable supplier. So supplier scorecards, generative AI powered supplier communications. If you have a communication that needs to go out, it could be and maybe you need to communicate with a variety of suppliers. It could take a long time if you're writing all those emails. But if you leverage generative AI, you can do this much faster. So that's another great way. We have EDI for supply chain automation. We have the ability to rapidly change suppliers in the system, and so much more. So supply chain management is absolutely a critical area that Kinetic, again, really shines.
That's great. Especially like you touched on at the beginning, the multiple users per licenses. I feel like that's a really big thing for people. So I'm glad you touched on that, because I wouldn't have known that. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then expanding on the idea of visibility across operations, Kinetic seems to place a big emphasis on leveraging data and the IoT for smarter manufacturing operations. How does the platform help manufacturers gain better visibility into areas like equipment efficiency and quality control?
You bet. Yes, this is absolutely a critical area. And we're seeing the power of data only become more and more important as we move to an era that is driven by AI. But specifically in the areas of equipment efficiency and quality control, Epicor did an acquisition of a really strong business intelligence platform in 2022, and this is called Grow. And our Grow business intelligence tool is expanding now into a full data platform. And some of the ways in which we can enable value for our customers is we've already embedded Grow within Kinetic, and now you can pull data from Kinetic and view it within Grow. And there are a variety of pre-built dashboards, some being around the areas of equipment efficiency, others around quality control. And we have many of these pre-built dashboards that really help our customers. Again, I mentioned sustainability. If you have sustainability initiatives and you want to see your carbon emissions, there's pre-built dashboards for sales and marketing, and just a variety of different tools that you might be leveraging. So the business intelligence tool, in order to gain visibility, we also are incorporating AI, generative AI, into our efficiency measures for equipment, things like fleet maintenance. Epicor actually, in our automotive side of the business, has a product catalog for all automotive vehicles since, oh gosh, I want to say the 60s.
Wow.
So it is the most robust data feed, and we can use that information. Say, for example, if a manufacturer has a fleet of vehicles and they need to know when is maintenance going to be coming up, we can then incorporate that information, leverage generative AI, and make recommendations and predictions as to when equipment is going to need maintenance, the fleet is going to need maintenance. So really exciting use of data in that way. Another aspect I'll mention around quality control is our manufacturing execution systems, or MES. We made another acquisition around this space of a company called eFlex. And that is our Epicor Connected Process Control solution. It offers virtual work instructions for high quality and efficiency. So say you have new talent coming on board, new hires, and you want to get them ramped up as quickly as possible, but you're concerned they're new. They don't have the same level of experience as those who've been working for your organization for maybe many, many years. But now you can, provide them provide them with virtual work instructions and step-by-step instructions on a screen as to, specifically how to assemble a part, for example. And this really helps with quality control measures so that you can get your new hires up and running quickly and ensure you have that quality control in place.
That's great. Like so many thoughts, but the overarching thing I'm hearing is just efficiency and automation, which is so important. I feel like there's not even too much more to say besides that it's so important. So that's great that all of that is available. And, we've talked a lot about AI kind of throughout this whole conversation. So just
you
taking
can't
that,
not. Of course,
I know,
we're going
right?
to talk about AI.
I know it's everywhere. So taking it like a step further, AI and digital twins are generating a lot of buzz in manufacturing world right now, specifically. So how is Kinetic utilizing that AI infused insights and digital twin analysis to drive continuous improvement for customers?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is such an exciting area.
Yeah.
So, at Epicor, I mentioned in the beginning cognitive ERP. We really believe cognitive ERP is the future. It's sort of the next step from Cloud ERP, that because now we have the modern platform that scales in place and can process so much information very quickly, now we can infuse AI into every aspect of manufacturing. So it's really exciting. And in order to help us visualize the concept of what's coming, we call these our gears, handshakes, and sparks. So the gears are those machine-to-machine interactions that create the data flows. So just as we talked in the beginning about how important it is to build connections and automations, that's, again, how that data is now flowing through the system. Those handshakes are the ways in which humans interact with technology. So that's the natural language, the low code, no code, drag and drop, the way that we want to interact with technology. And then sparks are those insights that are served up thanks to AI. And oftentimes, as technology is getting better and better, we don't even have to ask the question. We don't even have to provide a prompt, right? In order to empower the worker and get that insight. So it's really exciting because we believe that ERP is fundamentally the vehicle that's going to bring AI into manufacturing. These are the screens that users are already in, the systems that organizations have already invested in, and that's where the data resides to make potentially consequential decisions about your business. So this is the kind of technology that allows us to drive continuous improvement in the form of informed decisions, notices of quality defects or abnormalities that need to get addressed, inventory level recommendations, and when it comes to digital twin, the visualization concept is just exploding in terms of innovation. I mean, the kinds of things we can do when we apply AI to visualization is really exciting. But an example is Epicor CPQ, the Configure Price Quote tool. This is a 3D visualization tool. It's often used for digital twin, and it allows you to create a highly accurate production because you're feeding this digital twin version of whatever it is that you're configuring directly to the shop floor, right? So you're aligning it exactly to the customer expectations and honestly to your CFO's financial expectations too, right? Because you're able to do fast quotes, close business faster, and create more predictability into the production process.
There's the efficiency again.
The name of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, AI and digital twins are just fascinating topics. Like you said, we could talk about it, I'm sure, for a long time. In looking ahead with Kinetic's focus on enabling rapid innovation and prototyping, what new product lifecycle management or sustainable engineering capabilities are on the roadmap that you might be particularly excited about?
Yeah, you bet. So this is an area that we've made some pretty exciting recent advancements because they've been on the roadmap and we're making progress. So the first one is around PLM or product lifecycle management. Epicor acquired Kiklo. Kiklo is an e-commerce and PIM or product information management system, which is really closely aligned to PLM and helps with, PLM sort of use cases because it helps to ensure accurate product information is feeding product lifecycle management and innovation efforts, as well as AI use cases and e-commerce. Keyclow has, and now Epicor as an Epicor solution has a data library, for example, that contains more than 6 million SKUs for more than 130 top brands that are used by manufacturers and distributors. So just a great investment to help ensure accurate product information.
Totally.
And then as far as sustainability, we also just announced a new partnership with a company called Climatic. And Climatic allows Epicor to introduce carbon calculations into our ERPs and applications. And this really helps customers access accurate and real-time carbon calculations. It can help them track emissions and identify great ways to reduce their carbon footprint. So a little bit more about Climatic. It is known for the largest database of verified emission factors with over 70,000 scientifically vetted and delivered through a single API integration. So what that means is Epicor can connect to this data feed and serve up carbon calculations directly within the screens that our Kinetic users are already within, and then use that information to help make more informed decisions to reduce carbon emissions. So a lot of really exciting advancements in the areas of product and sustainability.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. And innovation is clearly a priority for you guys. I mean, if working with, new partners, acquiring new companies, all that sort of stuff, that's awesome. And in light of that, this is a crowded and competitive market. So how does Kinetic aim to stay ahead of the curve through that innovation and, exceptional customer support for manufacturers?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it is a crowded market. We know our customers have choice. We're honored that they choose Epicor. One way that we continue that partnership, honoring the fact that they've chosen us, is I mentioned that made with you for you brand promise. This again continues throughout the way that we interact with our customers. We really focus on the customer experience. Our executives are highly accessible. So we're often speaking directly with customers. That's not something that you typically get with many ERP providers. We have our customer advisory board, product advisory boards, our cloud councils. I mentioned our ideas portal. It's a crowdsourced ideas portal where they can, anybody, customers, partners, prospects, employees, you can submit ideas to Epicor, and then you can go in and vote on them, and that feeds directly into our product management roadmaps. We're constantly reviewing and working on those ideas. So we definitely incorporate our voice of customer to make sure that we stay on top of innovation, and to be able to really focus on our customer experience and to ensure that we have an ongoing conversation with our customers. We're also investing in a couple areas across the business, such as AI to enhance our support experience, AI as a knowledge assistant to access the learning library. So it's very easy to train and onboard new employees, or say you're in a screen that maybe you haven't been in a little while and you just need a refresher. You can now leverage AI within that learning library as a knowledge assistant. So there have been a number of investments that we're doing in order to stay ahead of the market.
That's awesome. I love the idea board too. And I've talked about this with people before. It's like the best way to improve and actually be there and support your customers is by listening to them and, looking at those things and making those changes. So that's cool. I like that anyone can add that and it just goes directly to you guys. That's
Absolutely
great. And so competition drives progress. So speaking of progress and competition, many manufacturers are embracing that smart factory and sustainability initiatives to ensure that they can compete in this digital world. So how does Epicor help them?
Yes. So, absolutely. And when it comes to the smart factory and sustainability initiatives, this is an area that we've really focused for quite some time. We have our advanced MES systems. And just as I mentioned, we made this acquisition of eFlex for connected process control. And what this does is it collects real-time data directly from equipment and operators on the shop floor in real time and feeds that into the system in order to maintain data accuracy, to help with process automation so that this can be done quickly, more efficiently, and in a trackable way. And our solutions also anticipate and will help our users and customers solve production problems before they happen. A really exciting recent announcement that we've made is Epicor Prism, the way in which we are incorporating generative AI directly within Kinetic for our customers to interact with the system through a natural language way. And it'll even serve up solutions to problems it's anticipating that could happen based on what's been happening in the system and any anomalies that it's noticing. So it's a really exciting new advancement. Just as I mentioned, ERP being fundamental to the way manufacturers will be consuming generative AI. And then these solutions, especially those that are helping to track the equipment on the shop floor, help you reduce energy costs and help organizations meet sustainability goals, especially as those are connected to business intelligence solutions and dashboards, so you can have a broader view of your factory floor over time and take action.
That's great. Real time information is awesome. And the predictability, it's like, that's just so crazy that that's something that can even be done today. Like it's crazy what AI can do. That's very helpful, I'm sure, for so many companies, so many businesses. And talking about, MES platforms. So modern MES platforms can now deliver significant improvements in training, quality, throughput. How is the MES space transforming for Epicor? If you could touch a little more on that.
Absolutely. Yes. I think it's really important because, just as I mentioned, almost all of the business leaders, manufacturing leaders that I speak to are focused on automation, and they're doing so because they're concerned about shortages in talent and being able to recruit and retain qualified talent. And in order to actually best leverage their team members who are on the shop floor, they want to make sure they're as empowered as possible. And those new folks that they're bringing in, that they get them up and running as quickly as possible as well. So the MES system, when it comes to the connected process control, is really crucial because it's easy to use. It's no code, low code, and it has a virtual screen that shows you step by step what you need to do in order to empower frontline workers to complete a task. And if there are any quality concerns, there are highlights, and it specifically addresses any anomalies that need to be corrected. This is especially important as we, again, continue to bring in new talent and need to ensure quality and continue to retain those employees and our quality measures. MES is really critical when it comes to connecting people and processes, devices and machines with real-time data, but then again, feeding all of that into the back end so we can now leverage this as data, now applying AI, and you see how the cycle continues. So it's all connected, and it all really feeds some exciting opportunities for the future as we're looking out to what technology holds in store for all of us, especially for manufacturers.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very, very exciting. It's cool to see how everything goes together and what it can be in the future. That's awesome. So we've come to the end. So for listeners interested in learning more about Epicor Kinetic, where could they go online, and what would be just the best way to get in touch with your team to, get connected with you guys?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on over to epicor.com. Epicor.com has a lot of really great information, a lot of great resources. You can do some reading if you'd like. You can find ways to get connected. Please connect directly with me. I would love to have a conversation with anybody who's interested in learning more. I'm on LinkedIn at Carrie Jordan. So absolutely come find and connect with me there.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Carrie. This was a great conversation. It's very cool to hear about all the different things that you guys do. I'm like, there's so many things all tied into one spot, which is just amazing. Like we talked about, efficient. We love that. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you all for listening to the Slashdot Media SourceForge podcast. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all the upcoming B2B podcasts that we have coming for you, and catch you in the next episode.